Good morning. Time check. I think it's 9 o'clock. Welcome to everybody, especially the online people as well. You see, the reason you shouldn't be online is you're going to miss all the fun we're going to have in the room today. Fun that will be enhanced through the planned presence of our minister for the whole day. So you can imagine what fun we're going to have. You will have to take our words for it, seeing that you're online. So we'll try and share some of the fun with the online audience as well. Welcome back to day 2 of the 11th edition of the Joburg Indaba. My privilege again to be chairing it. Last night I wasn't sure what my name is. This morning I checked my ID. I'm still Bernard Swanepoel. But last night I was so bombed from tiredness I wasn't that sure anymore. It's going to be a good day. We're going to continue a conversation about the industry which I think most of us care deeply about. And so the nature of the conversations I think will reflect that we don't necessarily always agree, but I don't think anybody participates in this conversation without a perspective that comes from a place of caring about this industry. That's why I think the platform works so well. The safety induction is very simple. All of these doors are designated potential emergency exits. If there's for whatever reason a need to move out of the building, the nearest door to you is the safe place to, in an orderly way, just exit from. We do have qualified medical staff on site for all sorts of other emergencies. So if you need any medical assistance, I don't know if they prescribed headache tablets for hangover. I don't know if that's what they're here for, but whatever else you need medical assistance for, qualified people on site. Oh, good. So we have a fantastic platform where every single CEO and team, senior team of every mining company kindly gives their time to us to come and participate, in some instances way out of their comfort zone. If you saw Nico Muller reluctantly participate yesterday, you don't want to know what went into the process to get him here. And they still come and they actually give their time and their input. And so we are extremely appreciative of that. But that goes right back to 10 or 11 years ago when we decided to have this platform as by the industry for the industry. And our industry partners have no say in the program. Not even the mighty Anglo gets to tell us what to do. And they try, eh? And they all laugh knowingly. They know exactly how they try. This is a program that is designed for real conversations, but it cannot work without the industry support and participation and financial support. And then on top of that, we've got phenomenal sponsors. And that is why you pay in rands less than what you pay in Cape Town in dollars. Because this model is not exploitative. This model is for the industry, by the industry. And Paula and her team can never be thanked enough for what they've put together. Paula, thank you. You are really serving your country well and our industry well by doing this. So that's all the nice stuff. Now the real me can get up and talk like I am the miner. I want to reflect quickly with you on yesterday. I gave Neil and Themba so much time to speak that we ran half an hour late. You know that's not my style. But I thought that both of them spoke about our industry, the position of our industry as a credible social partner, economic partner. And Themba reflected on the journey of 20 years of MPRDA, but beyond that, what is sort of the chapter for us as an industry going forward? I confessed yesterday, and I do apologize for the second day attendees, when we constructed this program 3 months ago, we were probably in a more bullish place than what people are today. And in some ways it's like tough because when you sit here with a platinum CEO, he has to speak in the midst of a crisis. But we also spoke about the hope and the things that the industry is doing. So the two panels that followed with the CEOs that are contributing towards the national initiatives to fix the issues around crime, logistics, and energy, that was a phenomenal conversation. I personally thought these stupid people are brave enough to go where I would not go, and thank God for them, because we had real examples of things that are beginning to happen, and patriotic South Africans giving their companies resources, their own time to fix. The panel after that was slightly more granular. We spoke about real things, real partnerships right now, where mining industry, government collaborate to fix water challenges on the Eastern Limb. We spoke about phenomenal opportunities that exist when mining companies collaborate. If one may have to retrench and another one may be employing, how do we actually manage partnerships? I, at the end of that session, was on an absolute high, knowing, like typical mining industry players, you give us a crisis, once we've badmouthed Gwede, the government, and everybody else, we actually get off our asses and we do things and we fix things. So I left very pleased and positive after that. We had fantastic other conversations with our CEOs. I wish I had a way to capture all of these pearls of wisdom. These presentations are all available online. You are very welcome to disseminate it, to use it as you see fit, because I think each and every one of our CEOs helped us understand how do they take the complexity of a world which sounds like a mess, interpret it to where thousands of people go to work and make a positive contribution. I don't know why they get paid as much as they get paid, but my gosh, some of them are clever, eh? Jeez. Saying that, not today's CEOs, we don't just think this extends to you guys. I mean, you still have to earn your stripes. Huh? We had a really good conversation to remind you about the how do we revive mining and exploration in South Africa, the issues we face. And the issues, despite what Errol Smart says, the issues are more than just a cadastre system. Because if we magically solve that, as we will soon, after 5 or 6 years of slow magic, then we will still find that money won't just come because we've got a cadastre system. There's always other things as well. And I think this was also where we started to explore, when we speak about critical minerals, you cannot just force people to supply minerals in South Africa, even at a discount. That is not what stands between us and beneficiation. That's not what stands between us and industrialization. There's a broad policy framework that needs to be in place. We keep on looking for silver bullets. I don't know what to do. We'll shoot ourselves in the head. I'm not sure whether a silver bullet is better to shoot yourself in the foot with than a golden bullet. So we started to, again, just have the conversations that, those with the power to make rules, just don't oversimplify and think a simple rule will fix systemic problems. As you can see, I really enjoy that. One of the people that we, behind his back, say is an enemy of mining, Crispin Olver, is bold enough to come. I thought he's coming to make a presentation. He rocked up without a presentation, so I had to fake a conversation with him for 30 minutes, which really strained my brain. Because all I really want to say to him, dude, you don't like mining, you're trying to kill us. He faced us, he shared with us how he sees the just energy transition, how he sees the Presidential Commission on Climate Change's role, and how that would impact on us as a mining industry. And I must say, anybody who's bold enough to go into the, into the unfriendly environment, I have a high respect for that, and I think the conversation has sort of moved forward from when a meeting or a conference or two ago, him and Mike Teke spoke about each other without having ever spoken to each other. I mean, clearly, that's no longer the case. There's constructive engagement, and our industry apparently plays quite a role in that. And then I had to talk to the two coal miners, partly because Mike Teke, of course, as the new inductee into the Hall of Fame, deserved some quality airtime. But you can't speak to one coal mine at a time, so we had him and Nombasa both up here. And how inspiring, hey? You would believe, if you believe the world, our coal companies are evil and busy to die, and you've listened to the two CEOs of our most successful coal companies, the truth is quite the opposite now. Busy diversifying, seeing themselves as energy companies, positioning for the very energy transition. And I'm not a shareholder of either of them, so none of that I say to suck up to. Are they sponsors? Let me just check. Yeah, okay, at least I've said something nice about two of our sponsors now. So what a nice day. Those who were here, sorry for summarizing. If you missed out on yesterday, don't do that again. Whatever you were doing was clearly not as important as being here. And today is going to be similar. So yesterday, from about lunchtime, we were honored with the presence of the DG. He was with us all of yesterday. He sat in the audience when we said the things we said, because we don't talk behind each other's backs, especially if people who get invited pitch, then we don't have to talk behind their backs. And we will today, probably for most of the day, have our minister and his senior team with us. So Minister Gwede Mantashe is going to be in the audience today. It is not going to change the conversation. It is just going to mean that the relaying is not going to happen through the journalist or through hearsay or through WhatsApp. The conversation is going to be with our minister in the room, which was always how we've wanted to do that. So we are looking forward to that. You by now know how to participate. Please, with me, including online people, take up this funny looking, this is actually a picture of me after 2 glasses of wine, very blurred. You point your camera there, then a better picture of me should come up. No, don't worry, it's not that. You go through to the Slido platform, and we will help you understand that the only way you're going to get your questions to the front is to type it in there. You are welcome to stay anonymous, but you should really feel comfortable to put your name to your question, but you don't have to. You type it in, make sure the question gets to me in time to put it to the speaker. It often happens that I get fantastic questions just after I thank the speakers and they left the platform. It's not that useful for me, and you are here to help me. Remember, that's your key role today, is to help me look a little bit smarter than what I am on my own. So, and then we do polls. So I want to find my polls for today. We're going to do one practice poll and then one proper poll, if I can find myself in my script. So can we go to the first Slido question? It's a deep question. Who's going to win the 2023 Rugby World Cup? I know we've got one Australian in the audience, so no serious rugby contender even puts Australia up, not even as a joke anymore. I mean, it's like the joke is Australia now, it's not on Australia. So I'm also checking who's awake. We've got more than 116 people online, and they have obviously voted, so I'm not closing the poll until enough of you have participated. Unlike Zimbabwe, this is real democracy. We don't start with the results and then go through the motions. I didn't say that. No, it's withdrawn. I nearly said, unlike the ANC conference, this is real democracy, but I'm not looking for trouble today. Today I'm going to be polite, nice, friendly, and of course no trouble. Okay, so it's easy now. We also do a second type of question, and that will pop up when somebody says something that I wonder if the audience really agrees with that. We do a BS barometer. The BS is obviously for Bernard Swanepoel, not for any other negative connotation. And we just check whether the audience agrees with the statement. But I'm just going to give you a practice question properly first. This is really for the audiences, for for the panel's following. What is it that investors are looking for in South African mining shares? For dividends, you can also read cash generation, because I hope dividends comes out of cash generation. Growth, commodity diversification, geographic diversification. Now, some people sit here, this is their job, they engage with investors. The rest of us express our opinions. But it's also valid, so please. So this sort of mad obsession with dividends seems to still be the prevailing one. Huh? I'm so glad I'm not a CEO anymore. Eh? I come from the time when if you want dividends out of a gold mining company, you clearly don't understand gold mining. I mean, may explain why I got fired. Eh? Okay. Thank you for that, and I think, Mamecha, and your panels, you'll pick up on, what is it that these mad investors want. The second question is, actually, I'm quite keen. This is a yes-no question. Can we have the final, I don't know what's happening here. No, guys. I don't know where that comes from. You're on the wrong screen. It helps if you pay attention there at the back now. So there's another poll question. The poll question number 3 should say, do you own South African mining shares directly in your personal capacity? Have you got that slide? Poll question. I think we'll skip that. I'll personally walk over and wake them up there at the back. It may be loud. So let's move on. Thank you very much.